in our experience, it doesn't cut right off anymore. That's wonderful. Yes, we did. Okay. Well, here we are. It's the last Sunday in March. And even though it's been a 5-Sunday month, still, it seems, at least to me, that it began only yesterday. And on that first Sunday, we noted that even though time seems to, it doesn't march on. We do. We march on. In fact, we march on and on. Lifetime after lifetime. This is the one we're marching through now. And if we allow it to be, it can be the best one yet. Now, we asked ourselves on that first Sunday how we were doing with our marching. What we were saying yes to with our every step. And it's still a good question for us to contemplate and think about today. We've had 30 whole days in this 31-day month to intentionally march forward in a positive direction in our life toward what we want, toward what we want to experience. Did we do that? Did we march through all of those days? Or most of those days? Or at least some of those days? Intentionally choosing thoughts that felt good to think because we like to feel good and we know it attracts good into our life? Did we focus only on what we wanted to experience? And were we clear about what that was? And did we feel uplifted because we had no doubt that whatever it was possible for us? Did we intentionally do our best not to be distracted by negative behaviors or events around us? That we knew that if we focused on them, it would take us off our positive track that is heading in the direction of where we want to go? When we woke up each morning, did we say, or feel like saying, in so many words, forward march, because we knew where we were going and we couldn't wait to go? It's good for us to identify what our intentions are for the day, each day. Because day after day, we're creating our life. Moment to moment, within those days after days, we're creating our life. It's good for us to be clear about where we want to go as we focus on our daily life. Even if we're staying at home. Because unless we're clear that we want to go about our day physically, emotionally, and mentally uplifted and positive, no matter what, unless we remember that uplifted, positive energy is the holy fuel that keeps us heading in the positive direction we want to go, that's creating a life we enjoy living. And unless we pay attention to how we're feeling, so we know what fuel we're using How will we know if we're heading in the direction we want to go? Abraham Hicks tells us clarity is a clear impulse of where to go, and then following that impulse because it feels good. Clarity is that momentum forward that has no resistance. When we're feeling good, we have no resistance as we're feeling that good. Clarity means attention to something wanted without contradicting it. We contradict what we want when we say we want this, and we focus on that. Something unwanted. Or we keep talking about something that we want that's missing. And so we're focusing on the absence of it and telling everybody else about why it's not here. It's like heading out our door, meaning to turn right toward our destination of wanted, but then turning left instead, and then wondering how we got where we are and why our good isn't there yet. We talk a lot on Sundays about our being the creator of our own experiences, meaning we are the attractor of all of it, meaning we establish through our thoughts and how they cause us to feel a vibrational pattern of attraction that's matched by the universal law of attraction to conditions and experiences and events in our life that are equivalent to our vibe. Abraham Hicks tells us you're not directly manifesting, but rather creating the environment that allows manifestation to occur. Being happy as often as we can, being calm and peaceful as often as we can, and extending love and compassion as often as we can, creates an environment of allowing. We can control our own point of attraction by intentionally choosing to feel good. Why do we keep talking about feeling good? Why is it important for us to feel as good as we can? Every spiritual text, ancient and current, tells us why. For example, it's all over the Bible. You read everything good comes from God. He is good, does good, and gives good gifts to his children. He fills our hungry souls with good things. His goodness is always with us. The most important thing that we can do in our life to create a life we enjoy living is to feel good. Isn't that a lovely way to create our life? I mean, when we feel good, we feel God within us. And when we don't feel good for any reason, we don't feel God in that moment. We don't feel the goodness that is always with us. In the way of transformation, Joshua spoke these words. I once said that if you are not wholly joyous, it could only be because you have elected to use the power of your mind to think differently than your Creator. That's why joy is the key to creating a life we enjoy. If we decide to be intentional creators, intentional attractors, intentional thinkers, nothing will come to us that isn't a match to the good we feel and the good we want. Feeling good creates the vibrational frequency of our energy environment that allows good gifts to manifest. We don't even have to make them do anything. They just do. When we're feeling good, we're resistance-free, open to receiving. We're saying both yes and thank you to the goodness that is always with us. And when we're not feeling good, the vibrational frequency we're emitting isn't one that allows us to receive our good. It's important for us to remember as we march through this life each day that we get what we emit. That our life in any moment is the result of our own energy output coming back to us, high or low. Deliberate creation is thinking on purpose. It's creating an uplifted, positive inner environment in any way that we can that allows the manifestation of good health and happy relationships and financial abundance and fun and fulfilling activities. It does it all. We have to be aware that how our thinking is causing us to feel is influencing what we're attracting to us. And we need to be aware of that all the time. Everybody gets bummed, but you don't want to stay there. And we stay there if we beat ourselves up for being bummed. If we're going to think at all, and let's face it, we can hardly help ourselves, we have to think purposely about the good. Science of Mind tells us take a consistent, positive, aggressive mental attitude in the truth. That way, we're not interested in trying to justify the negative thoughts we're thinking or in sharing our negative thinking in our conversations with others. I mean, how many times do we need to tell about the same negative happening before we get it off our chest? And once we do, we discover that there's something else that's going to be a burden instead. How many times do we need to tell the same old story before we're willing to step out of that story rather than write more pages about it? The more we focus on anything, positive or negative, the more energy we give to it. And that becomes the energy environment that allows whatever it is to manifest. Whether we're singing a somebody done me wrong song or just a somebody done something wrong song, it's out of tune. It's an out of tune song with a happy tune that keeps us in tune and tuned into the good life we want to attract. We can adjust our perspective anytime we choose to. Nobody thinks inside our head. Nobody can decide for us what we'll focus on, no matter how insistently they point to it and want us to join in. It's up to us to choose where we look and to choose what we want to see. When we choose to focus on thoughts that feel good, when we choose to only join in conversations that feel good, we're calibrating our vibrational energy to the precise frequency of the spiritual being we are. The one that lives in us even as we live in this world. The one that's full of God's goodness already. Our inner being already knows what we want and already has it because our inner being focuses only on what we want. Even while we're railing away about all the things we don't like and all the things we disagree with and creating an environment that keeps our good from manifesting. We are spiritually packed on the inside with juicy goodness. Full and running over with a spiritual reality that includes all the good things for our journey in our earth life. We already have it. But if we want any of it to manifest while we're marching through time in this world, the key to opening up the floodgates and letting all that juicy goodness out and allowing it to show up in our life is to feel good any way we can. Eckhart Tolle wrote, if you get the inside right, the outside will fall into place. Primary reality is within. Secondary reality is without. If something that we want isn't happening, hasn't happened yet, and by now we don't even believe it's going to happen in time, it's likely we're not taking the time to get the inside right, to intentionally resonate in any way that we can with the precise, good feeling frequency of our inner being, the spiritual being we are within us already, even now. We begin to allow our good, whatever it may be, to manifest by accepting without excuses, without blame, without resistance of any kind, that we get what we emit. We get the results of our own energy output. Whether we're aware of it or not, whether we want it or not, we get what we're thinking about. We have to live without a doubt. Just decide, once we accept that, then it's important to live without a doubt. That we have the ability, even though sometimes it's more difficult than others, to think on purpose. Abraham Hicks tells us when you have made a decision about something you want, you have accomplished 1/2 of the equation for the deliberate creation of it. You have given thought with emotion. That's what wanting is. On the other side of the equation, for the deliberate creation, is the allowing. In order for us to be a deliberate creator, an intentional attractor, we must think on purpose and find a way to think good thoughts. Fully aware that how we're feeling matters, because feeling good is the purpose. Because feeling good is feeling God, and that's the purpose. Every good thought causes a good feeling within us that's creating an environment that allows God's good gifts to flow unopposed by us into manifestation in our life. Namaste. All righty. Well, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for bringing your love, your wonderful attention and support, your light. You just shine so bright, all of you. It's a beautiful thing to stand here and look at you. And just thank you for being here. And thank you for showing up live stream from wherever you're showing up. Sometimes you got to get up early. And we appreciate that. Thank you for loving yourself and loving what LEC has to offer. And I know you know, because all of you are already doing this, that for us to continue doing what we do, wherever we end up doing it, that it requires financial support, because that's what makes this world go round. And so thank you that you're doing that. But if you're new this morning, or up until this morning you took a coffee break while we were talking about financial support, but you're here now and you're listening and you wonder, well, how can I do that? Our treasurer, Dr. Jamie Phillips, is here to tell you how.
Yeah, thank you. Excellent. I feel so happy. If you'd like to donate to the Life Enrichment Center and you're watching this online, there's several ways that you can do it. You can go to facebook.com, which is where we live stream this, and hit the donate button on that page. For the page is facebook.com/Life Enrichment Center. If you'd like, you can donate via PayPal. Our PayPal email address is lec2512@gmail.com. You can go to our website where you're going to find the podcast of this service tomorrow, and that is lecflint.com. And there's a donate button on that page. You can also send a check, and our post office box is Life Enrichment Center, P.O. Box 321294, Flint, Michigan 48532. And if you're here in the sanctuary, we're going to be doing an offertory while we listen to Marcy Allen singing in this very room. And it'll be followed by a gratitude prayer from Reverend Stephanie. Thank you so much.